Hello, hello. What's happening? How are you doing? Are you texting?
How are y'all? I'm working.
You're working?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. So, welcome to Bragg's show. If you're just joining us, or it's your first show, be rich and generous. That's what this is all about, okay? Be rich and generous, where we teach people how to flip houses, buy and sell houses, day trade real estate, we call filthy riches, other stuff like that. And then we want you to go out and be generous, right? Be rich and generous with your blessings and help others as well. We have a new camera. It's kind of up high a little bit. What do you think about that?
You're asking them what they think about the camera.
The camera.
Are we gonna take
picture?
Their advice to move the camera if they don't like that angle?
I don't know.
No.
It's up here.
We're not.
It's up high. Somebody said the other day it needs to be eye level, which is probably true. So if you're not very familiar with us, if you want to get a free investor's kit, a copy of my book, you can get this book right here, Getting Started in Real Estate Day Trading. Paul Wells, hey man, I was going to call you yesterday. I was driving for 3 hours to Tria to speak, and I got on a phone call with somebody else, and I wasn't able to give you a call before I got there. Anyway, so John Billy's in the house too. Look, the integrator.
That's right.
There you go. So if you want a free copy of this book, go to 877. There you go.
He said he saw you last night, John, too. Tria.
Yep, I did. We hung out a little bit.
hung out?
We hung out a smidge, as much as I could.
It's all right. It's okay, John. You'll get to hang out with me in a couple of months. Thanks for settling last night.
Settling?
I'm just kidding. They love you too.
All righty then. So let's see. If you want to get a free copy of the book, call 877-LARRY-GO. Talk to Zenobia. She'll be glad to get that for you. Also, let's talk about, look what John said.
Seriously.
He was great.
He was all right. I wasn't even there.
So, but thank you, John. I appreciate that. So,
that validation.
Deal of the week. The deal of the week is the mobile home park. We sold that mobile home park yesterday? Was it yesterday or Monday?
Today, Wednesday. We sold it Monday.
Sold it Monday?
It's gone. Out of here.
And Lorraine just sold another house a few minutes ago for $20,000. He of course he would have. Look.
He loves me.
Look. So
even with a scratchy throat.
Yeah, she's been coughing and hacking and sneezing and wheezing and nagging and gnawing and moaning and groaning about her getting over her sicknesses.
It's because I'm not getting over it.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's a good point. So
anyway, mobile home park. This deal, we told y'all this was
your
a good deal.
Tell them about your deal.
This deal, we told y'all it was a good one. We told everybody when we were able to hand out the flyer last week at Metro Lanaria that it was going to go quick, and it did. As soon as we started marketing this deal, it was gone in 4 days. 4 days.
This was a deal. It was actually gone the day that people started going to look at it.
Well, we handed the flyer out on Thursday. We talked about it the week before. We had a flyer for it at our 3-day event. And so I guess marketing, if you had to get technical about it, we started on the 9th of August. And it is the 21st, but people didn't start going out to it on the 9th. I think the first people that started going out to it, were last week.
Day or two before it's sold. So anyway, this is a deal bringing in $3,625 per month. $3,625 per month.
And you couldn't ask for a better seller than this.
Oh, this seller is awesome.
This seller has been so forthcoming with information. He met me. We spent like 4 hours together walking through the properties, letting me get pictures, telling me about everything. I talked to the tenants. He's been one of the best sellers that I've ever been able to work with.
He is awesome.
He's even going to walk our new buyer through the property to help with the transition to
handoff.
The handoff, to
with the
make all
tenants.
the tenants feel secure as to who's taking over the property. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I asked him if he would mind doing that the other day, and he just finished rehabbing the last unit. He's already got it rented. So basically, we're going to close probably in a couple of weeks. I think first week in September, right?
First week in September.
But we bought it for $100, and we're selling it for $129.9. I'm sure we could have got more for it.
We definitely could. With as quick as it sold,
Yeah.
we could have got more for
Yeah,
it.
we should have asked $149.9.
But that's okay because I mean,
they got a good deal.
they got a great deal. We got what we were looking to get anyway. So
You remember I mentioned
everybody's
that
happy.
deal. I mentioned that deal last night when I was speaking at TRIA, and I said, with an income of $36.25, what would you pay for it? Somebody said $360,000. Somebody said $300,000. I'm like, wow. I sold it way
we
too
way
cheap.
undershot ourselves
I sold it way too cheap.
with answers like that.
I know.
Well, I mean, looking at it, I've been there. I know without a shadow of a doubt that we could have gotten more money for it because the way that this guy has rehabbed these single wides with this mobile home park, he's done. He's remodeled 3, and it's been about 1 a year for the last 3 years. And this most recent one that he's just finishing it, and the tenant's moving in on Saturday. But this is not. I mean, he goes all out when he remodels. I mean, it's. I know we could have sold it for more, but our end buyer is happy. Our seller got what he wanted to get, and everybody's. I mean, it's a good deal all the way around.
Look who just hopped on.
Cornelius.
What's up? Corn, you are the world traveler.
Thanks, Kenny.
Corn,
It
what's
looks like a
going on?
mess, but it matches the Van Halen, so I'm going with it. Should have seen it this morning. It was a crazy mop.
I told her this morning when she walked in. When she walked in, I said, "What's up with your hair? You have the rock star groupie hairdo." She said, "It's just getting in the shower and doing nothing with it." Look, she said,
Yeah.
"So it matches my T-shirt."
Yeah, and my little ratty shoes today. I'm just a
yeah.
hot mess over here today.
So that's the deal of the week. We bought it for $100. We sold it for $129.9. Yeah, $129.9. And it's closing the first week of September. We actually have 2 other backups that want it as well if this person doesn't close.
I don't think we're gonna have a problem.
No,
with
I
the
don't
first
think we're
person.
gonna. I don't think we are either. And he's going to get the money from his IRA, his self-directed IRA. Speaking of which, let's talk about that. Self-directed IRA accounts. Now, you may be watching this and you may think, you can't buy real estate in your IRA. You can buy real estate. You can buy options. You can buy tax liens, tax deed. You can buy notes. You can buy a property and create a note. Then you can keep the note or sell the note. You can put options on properties. You can option equipment, cars, vehicles.
Medical equipment.
Medical equipment. We know a guy that's doing that. You can put an option on just about anything and make money with it, right? In your self-directed IRA account. What you need is what's called an SDIRA account, self-directed individual retirement account. Okay? Now, there's a lot of different types of accounts, but and we're going to go through them in a few minutes. But I have a few that we use. We use Camaplan, Camaplan. Carl Fisher. I know him very, very well. We've been using him for years and years and years. We also use Quest, Quest IRA. I think it's questtrust.com now. They just converted from Quest IRA to Quest Trust. And we also use Equity Trust, trustetc.com. So I've been with Equity Trust since they were Mid-Ohio Securities back in the 90s. So anyway, those are the 3 that we use, work with, and recommend. Although do your own due diligence, whatever works best for you. So there's a lot of different types of accounts, and I just want to kind of give you a rundown of those accounts. The first one I want to talk about is obvious, an IRA. And there's 2 different types of IRAs. There's a traditional and a Roth. A traditional IRA, when you put the money in, you get a tax deduction in the year that you put the money in, right? In other words, let's say you make $52,000 a year. If you put $2,000 in a traditional IRA, now your adjusted income is now $50,000 per year, so you get a deduction. However, when you retire and you start pulling that money out for retirement, you will have to pay taxes on that money because you didn't pay taxes on it when you put it in, okay?
Ultimately, one way or the other, you're going to pay taxes.
Right.
They're going to make sure of that.
Well, there are some ways that you don't have to pay taxes on that, and it's by converting it to a Roth as an investment.
And paying taxes on it now.
But that's a whole nother training right there, a big topic, right? So anyway, so there's also a Roth IRA, Roth, okay? And a Roth IRA, you do not get the deduction when you put it in there, but you can grow it and grow it and grow it and grow it and grow it, and then you can draw it out tax-free. You'll never pay money on the taxes, right? So I finally got all of my traditional converted to Roth. So now all I have is Roth IRA money. Right?
I have one more to convert.
There you go. So, and the reason you would want to convert it is if you believe the tax rate in the future will be higher than it is now, then convert. If not, leave it the way it is, okay? If you think taxes are higher now than they will eventually be, then leave it as tradition, okay? Now, there's another type of IRA called a Simple. Simple is an acronym for Savings Incentive Match Plan for Employees. Saving Incentive Match Plan for Employees. What that means is if you have employees in your organization and you want to be able to provide some retirement for them, you can set up what's called a Simple as opposed to a 401k, because a 401k has a lot more administration to it, right?
That's right.
So, and with employees, you cannot do a solo 401k, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So with the Simple, it's an IRA, and you can set it up for your employees. But the cool part about it is, as an employer, you do not have to contribute unless they contribute, right? And you can contribute up to 3% of their income. So I tell people, if you just contribute, when we had a Simple, we don't anymore, but when we had a Simple, I say, you want to pull your money without making an investment? Put 3% of your salary in and I'll match it, right?
People didn't do it. Isn't that crazy?
You did.
Well, I did.
Yeah, a few people did, but not everybody.
Most everybody didn't. I don't understand. It's free money. Anyway.
So
we don't have that kind anymore.
So that's a Simple, right? Now there's also just a regular 401k and a solo 401k. If you do not have employees, you want to get a solo 401k. That's where you're going to have the biggest bang for your buck. Get the most money in, okay? Plus, there's some advantages to 401ks that are not affordable. I shouldn't say affordable, but are not allowable or don't. It's not relevant to IRA. Okay. For example, with the solo 401k, there is no UDFI, unrelated debt finance income. In other words, if you buy a property in an IRA and you borrow money on that property, in other words, you use leverage in an IRA-owned property, you will pay what's called UDFI, unrelated debt finance income, which means you will pay taxes on the portion or the percentage that you borrowed. If you borrowed 50%, you bought a house for 100 grand, you borrowed 50 and you put 50 from the IRA in, you're going to pay taxes on 50%. However, you also get to deduct and depreciate other expenses when you do that, right? So you can net it out if you don't have a lot of cash flow, okay? There's also a Roth component to 401ks as well. You can do traditional or you can do Roth, okay? Now, what we have moved to from the Simple is what's called a safe harbor 401k. Once again, there's no UDFI with that. It has a Roth component. It's also good with employees. And it's very similar to a Simple, except it allows you to contribute a higher dollar amount than a Simple does, okay? So that's the difference there. That's a safe harbor. It's good if you have just a few employees. What are you doing over there?
A few employees. My sprigs from where my hair is cut in layers are aggravating me because they're jumping out of my braid.
All right. So next is a SEP IRA. That's a self-employment. You can do, I believe it's up to $54,000 or 20% of your income in a SEP, self-employment plan.
Per year.
Per year. Now, next one I want to talk about is really, really important. It's an HSA. That stands for Health Savings Account. With an HSA, you use it similar to a cafeteria plan, right? if you have an HSA, you have to have the type of insurance policy called an HDHP plan. That stands for high deductible health plan, HDHP, high deductible health plan, right? I thought I was going to forget about it there for a second.
And
But-
some companies don't offer that anymore.
No, but you can do it on your own. You can do it on your own as far as the HSA, but just contact your insurance carrier. Mine is Blue Cross Blue Shield. Just contact them and tell them you need an HDHP plan that qualifies for an HSA. Not all healthcare plans that have a high deductible are an HDHP
That's right.
plan. So it's got to be labeled HDHP, right? So make sure you tell them it's for an HSA. With an HSA, you can put money into it, right, to use for your what's called qualified medical expenses. Qualified being the key word. The IRS has a set of guidelines of what is qualified.
Don't
right?
they for everything?
Yeah, well, they do. They have a set of guidelines, and there's certain things it can't be used for and certain things it cannot be used for, right? Like certain types of cosmetic surgery would not be covered, right? So,
Poor thing.
I know, right? So, anyway, so with the qualified medical expenses, there's a lot of things that are included, even over-the-counter drugs if your doctor writes a prescription for it. Also, mileage to the doctor, mileage to the pharmacy, I believe, is included. Mileage to doctor's visits or to the hospital, you can deduct those mileage. Now, one of the really cool things about an HSA is it is not use it or lose it. What that means is, like, I've had mine about 7 years, okay? And my wife has this big binder of every one of our qualified medical expenses for the year. She's got it separated out by year. And what
You look like you go to the doctor a lot.
that's over 7 years. Come on. And plus, that's with, Noah and Linda a while back as well. But anyway, she's got everything. She's got the mileage written down, what doctor's appointment it was for Noah and where they went, what the mileage was, and all that good stuff.
All the prescription information, if there was something
Exactly.
prescribed. Yeah, all
Anything
that.
we spent on qualified medical expenses, she's got it in that binder. Now, because an HSA is not use it or lose it, let's say I grow that HSA to $500,000. All right. And let's say that HSA is $500,000 and I want to start pulling some money out, next year. I could go back to those receipts 7 years ago, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 last year, and I could cash out all of those receipts and take a distribution tax-free.
And you could do that every year, right? Instead
You
of
can
saving
do it
them
every
up.
year.
You could
You
do
don't
it
have
every
to save
year. You don't have to save it. Just wanted to throw that out there too.
You can also have two different accounts if you want to. You can't contribute to two over the maximum amount of your contribution, allowable contribution. But you could have one account that just has a debit card tied to it, and then another other account that you're going to grow through your self-directed, non-traditional investments, flipping houses or whatever, right? So you could use one as a debit card, and every time you go to the doctor, just use it, and it comes right out of there, right? So you can always transfer a little bit of money over there and have it in the debit card for that other HSA. The other cool thing about HSA is once you turn, I believe it's 62, it might be 60, it might be 65, but I believe it's 62. Once you turn that age, you can pull the money out without a penalty. You just pay the tax. So in other words, a lot of people use their HSA as a retirement account because if you have more money in there than you're spending on medical expenses, you can pull other money out and just pay taxes on it like a traditional IRA.
Yeah, just pay
So-
the pull-out penalty kind of a
There
thing,
is no
right?
penalty.
No, okay.
There's no penalty. It's just like a traditional IRA. You pay taxes when you
I'll
pull
pull
it out.
it out. Okay, so it's just
Yeah.
taxes on the amount you pull out.
It's just taxes. Just in other words, once you turn, I believe the number's 62. Once you turn 62, then you can pull the money out, same as an IRA, a traditional IRA, right? No penalty. You just pay taxes on it, just like an IRA, right? So now let's talk about the last type of account. That's an ESA, Education Savings Account. ESA is used to send your kids through school. It could be primary school, it could be kindergarten, it could be college, it could be private school, it could be Christian school. Doesn't really matter. The only thing you can't use it for is homeschooling. Okay, you cannot use it for homeschooling. So my son is 15. He was at a private Christian school. We use his ESA to reimburse ourselves for for his education expenses. And there's also a list. The IRS has a list of what's called qualified education expenses as well, right? So we use that to reimburse ourselves. But now this year he's homeschooled. So what I have to do is reimburse myself every bit that I can get for the private school and anything he had, whether it be books or study material, whatever, up until that time. And now we can't use it for the homeschooling. So what do? Here's the cool thing about an ESA. You can change the beneficiary of the ESA multiple times. For example, I've got 2 grandchildren now, believe it or not. I've got 2 grandkids now. So I could transfer my ESA ownership over to, or beneficiary over to them. Or I could just keep it and keep it growing until Noah graduates college. I don't need it anymore. Then I can transfer beneficial interest to either Ember or Keegan, right? Either one of them. And if you don't have anybody that's using it, like it's temporary, let's say Noah's not going to use it. He's in school for 2 more years. He won't need it, and Ember is going to need it in 2 years. I could transfer it to one of Kandas's children for 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then
in the interim,
and then she could transfer it back to Ember or Keegan, right, or Ember whenever she starts kindergarten.
When it's needed.
Right? Yeah,
right.
Change beneficial interest, right? So you could do that as well. So those are the different types of self-directed accounts that you can use. You've got traditional and Roth IRA. You got 401k, solo 401k. You got simple. You've got safe harbor 401k, SEP, self-employment, and then HSA and ESA as well. It says you have checkbook control, self-directed Roth IRA. You had a very bad experience with American IRA. Yeah, I haven't used them. I know who they are, but I haven't used them. But I would caution people to set up a checkbook IRA unless you know exactly what you're doing, okay? Unless you know exactly what you're doing. You need to have somebody do it that knows what they're doing. Like if you look in the comments below, John Heyer made a comment as soon as I made this post that we were going live today. He made a post about solo 401k. He's the person you want to get to set yours up. That's who set up mine. That's who set up Kandas's. You know, he's the one that you want to get set it up for you. He's not cheap, but he does it right, so you won't have any problems. And he also tells you what you need to do to manage it, to make sure you do it correctly, because the last thing in the world you want to do is what's called a prohibited transaction.
That's right.
If you do a prohibited transaction in an IRA, the IRA blows up, there's penalties, and you pay taxes on it, and there is no more IRA, right? So make sure you have somebody like John do it for you, and then that way you have it done right, and he'll show you what to do and how to do it. Like if I have a rental property in my self-directed IRA, I don't manage it. I hire a third party to manage it. I don't do it. I want to keep myself separate from my IRA. I'll hire a third party to do that. There's certain things like that John will tell you. He's very conservative. He's very good. He's very aggressive, but he's very conservative and wants to make sure that you do things to the letter of the law so you don't get in trouble. You know, and there is no gray area. It's black and white, right? So if you do that, use somebody like John Heyer. Tell him I sent you. He's not going to pay me anything. But it's good to know. It's good to know that, you know, it's good for him to know if I'm referring people, right, to him. So that gets me better service when I need something, right?
It could.
So maybe.
It also can just let him know up front maybe the context that you're going to come to him on, right? Because he knows we educate people. So it could give him a little bit of a context as to how much experience you already have. Exactly.
So if you want to work with us as a partner, we have a few partners that we work with. Not a whole lot. You can apply at larrygoins.com/apply.
we'll have partners in here in a couple weeks. I'm not sure how many spots we have left. I think it was almost full last week when I checked with the guys.
I'm not sure if we have spots for this time or not. But
It
you
may
come
be
in and you
full.
spend 3 days in our office, and we get all your marketing set up for you. We get your systems and processes and procedures set up. When you go home, your phone starts ringing, and you negotiate deals.
Yeah, this is definitely application. It's not the education part. We've got courses for that. And when you're part of the partner program, you get all the education for free. It is making sure, well, not for free, it's included. But when you're here, it's making sure that you take time away from whatever else is happening in life and you focus on the real estate that you've said is the most important thing to get you where you want to go.
There you go. That's exactly right. Which, by the way, Jimmy and Brenda have a closing today. They're
That's
our
awesome.
partners from last month or whenever it was. They were here. They've got, I think, 6 or 7 deals under contract and have their first closing today, which
That's
is really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
I'm really happy for them. That's awesome.
they've been working hard.
They have. So if you want to apply, LarryGoins.com/apply. We appreciate you guys watching. Please share the video if you like what you see, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.